Hi, old beaver! Away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to KritzKast. Another game, another day, and we have this time another final. But it's not Prem, it's not Division 1. We've seen those gamers finish their finals. We now have the Division 2 final. This is the teams battling out to try and get into Division 1 for next season. And who knows, maybe if they're feeling confident in the off-season, maybe sneak in to those Prem preseason playoffs. Who knows? Who knows? But first, there is a medal, a winner's medal up for grabs. And that is to try and get into a Div 1 winner's medal. I'm CeeJaey, and I'm joined by Buck on the casting couch and Wiethoofd on the production. Buck, we have two pretty strong teams tonight, don't we?
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, going into the Div 2 Grand Finals here with, sort of old sensations now, aliased up as Refugee Destroyers and Gaeta eSports. But yeah, I know the players on the sort of old sensations pretty well. I mean, I've known Dave and Nico quite a while. Carpy, I know, is a really good sniper. He's been around a while. And the main man, Chippo. And on the side of Gaeta, we've actually scrimmed, my team, We Kicksellers, as you might have seen in the finals yesterday. Actually scrimmed Gaeta a few times, so they have some decent players as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing this match.
Yes, I unfortunately know Chippo as well. XD, and also FizzyPug. I shared an Airbnb with him last year at Copenhagen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The more you know.
He stayed in the Strong Opinions house. But yeah, we have two teams. So Gaeta eSports, from what I understand, are the top seeds here. They are the first seeds, automatically qualified for the final, whereas Refugee Destroyers had to qualify their way up. And we can take a look at the bins and packs.
The bins.
Okay, the picks and bans, Buck. So Refugee Destroyers, they decided to ban Upward, getting rid of one of the payload maps. Gaeta banned Product and picked Gully. Refugee responded by picking Coal Plant, while Gaeta then picked Warm Tick. So we have a 5 CP and 2 Koth maps, which is very interesting because I've seen a lot of payload. I'm pretty sure in the semi-finals and the finals of all the games so far over the past couple of weeks, there's always been the bad water on the first map. So I'm kind of glad to see no bad water and no output. I'm no payload today, no cut. Just lots of cat points, Buck. But do you think, based on the how do you know these players, do you think this favours one of the sides, this kind of DM potential?
I mean, it's hard to tell, really. I mean, I don't really know, the kind of Sixers experience, really, of either of these teams. I know, they kind of dabble in it, I think, here and there. So, it'll be kind of interesting to see how they go on the Koth maps, but I think we'll go in live. But, I mean, hopefully we'll see, maybe a shorter final, CeeJaey, because the other ones have been relatively long.
They've been very long indeed. I'm going to quickly run off the rosters as the mid-fights go on. We've got Nacho Dog 166, blah, 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 on Scout for Refugee Destroyers. My Man on Soldier. Nico Pyro, Swanee on Demo. Change in QD for Heavy, as Mondias for Engineer, Dave on Medic, Carpy on Sniper, and FizzyPug on Spy. Nico is going to get the first frag down to ClipCon, who is the soldier for Gaeta eSports. He's joined by Mankind on Scout, Gorston, Prem player there, ex-Prem player on Pyro, Coca on Demo, Koi on Heavy, Honjo on NG, Matt J on Medic, Solo on Sniper, and Mr. Improbable on Spy. And Buck, that looked like a comprehensive win there for the Refugee Destroyers, killing 5 players with no deaths.
A lot, yeah. The Refugee Destroyers taking that mid pretty decisively before you were even able to finish counting down the roster for the other team. Yeah, Swanee with a lot of damage, already on 7 points top of the scoreboards. But importantly, both teams both on Uber and on 100%. So going to be interesting. We could see some Refugee Destroyers players going under now with the Pyro Heavy and the Scout Heavy. Boy, going to be trying to defend on the point, but Uber comes out right now, and they take so much time on the point. They managed to cap it before the blocking Uber comes out. What went wrong there?
They just sort of went in. I mean, FizzyPug went in for a stab, got caught out by Gorston, running that flare gun, retro. Then the soldier comes in, goes for the force, and then that was just a distraction. Everyone else just Ubered in and just went straight for the point. And that is a quick 1-0 to Refugee Destroyers, and looks like we could have a fast game here, Buck.
That was like before, like 2 minutes haven't even gone and it's already 1-0. So, I mean,
This is Gaeta's pick as well, let's not forget.
Wow, really? Okay. Carpy with a nice headshot. He's done off 20 and Nacho going down though, so no demo, no scout. Could be kind of very detrimental here as they're getting a lot of space. But picks seem to be sort of even on both sides. And you know, Dave's still alive as well, able to just heal his heavy. A lot of picks going down on either side, and they somehow managed to win that at the end with the help of Carpy. But Mr. and Paul were getting the frag onto Dave as a cleanup there.
Ooh, I mean, that was so close. It was actually Asmondias. Is Azimondias? Is that the name of the guy from what's it called?
I'll be honest, I have absolutely no idea.
the dude who can catch bullets in that movie with the blue dude.
Oh, I can't
Dr.
remember.
Manhattan. Somebody in chat will probably know what I'm talking about. He walked in there, the engineer, and managed to take down Py, the heavy on the enemy team. But yeah, that last pick onto Dave there, that's crucial, and that's keeping Gaeta eSports holding on to second, and with a small Ubrad here.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be trying to pick choke here. Nicro trying to get as much space to kill on Pyro, but I've managed to sort of take that bait that Nicro was doing, and Gorson going down. Stella going down as well, so no snipers digging a lot of space if they decide to rotate to big door here, and yeah, it's only a very small ad for Gaeta's mid right now.
Actually, it's one letter away. I'm being called out in chat here. Osmondias. Apparently, it's just an A instead of an O, so it's pretty close. But people knew what I was talking about based on my very, very poor descriptions there. But you just take a look at this here. The Refugee destroyers, they're not scared. They're just walking in. They're just saying, hey, we want this second point. We're going to walk in, even though it's equal Ubers, giving so much space to Carpy, getting the snipes, takes down Solo, and my man on Soldier manages to get a 2K. It's what, sorry?
I think it's Madman.
Madman. Okay. Oh, Madman. Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've heard many a tale of Madman. I've worked for this team before, I think, in the past, or a rendition of this team at least. But yeah, I mean, they're being really ballsy, but they're just walking in and just saying, we're just going to DM this. We don't need to use our Uber, and you know, we're just going to see what happens. And I like the aggression coming out here.
Yeah, the no fear strats on Gully Wash, if you know you've got momentum, can work out in your favour pretty well. But it's going to be 100% versus 100% again. But I'm expecting Matt to sort of step it up here and actually Uber onto the point like a bit earlier if they decide to go in. Just be careful of that. David takes some damage, but he's going to be back in slowly. They're trying to find some entry frags, but I mean they're going under right now, and yeah, looking to go in here. Yeah,
they're just going in for this river push. But look at this point. And the Uber comes in and they're going for the point, but they haven't got enough gamers left. There's 3 players left alive, and one of those is a Fizzy Bug on the respawn. He's actually going for the point now, and he's going to get blinded by Coca. That was really unfortunate. But yeah, everyone just going down there. Dave goes down as well, so Matt J is going to have a pretty sizable Uber advantage here on second. I might be tempted for Gaeta eSports to just take this through onto mid.
But you see Carpy is in position to try and line him through this choke area, so they're going to be sitting around the sniper right now as they try and come in here. But I mean, it's decent ad for them, about 50%, maybe a bit less. But yeah, we also managed to get that sort of fadeaway frag onto Dave, who's going to be sort of denying from coming in here too quickly. But yeah, just trying to build as much as possible.
It's those sort of situations, isn't it, on Gully Wash, where you're not sure, stalemates, right? You know, even though you've got this Uber ad, you've still got 9 players to get through, and there's still a Pyro that can just block you. So they are getting a couple of picks there. Solo with a nice headshot onto Carpy, so maybe that's going to open the way. But you know, here comes Gorson. He's going to be leading the charge, running forward, gets some decent damage onto Nicro, but Nicro is doing a fine job of air blasting them away as Imondias has gone down, and they've actually picked up a lot of players. Swanee and Madman going down as well. Dave has survived, but that was a pretty good Uber.
Yeah, they get a lot of frags there. They need to be careful, Dave and Shippo staying in here this long. They're trying to go to high ground. Like, Gaeta taking a long time to go in as well. Like, they're kind of afraid of sort of walking there, maybe not realizing how many picks they actually had there, press tabs and all that. But yeah, Chippo going to be kind of surrounded here. Fizzy gets a nice frag onto Solo, so I mean, the massive bomb comes in from Kilcon. Dave's going to try to run for his life here with Uber. Someone still on him, does get forced out though, so that's going to be massive if Gaeta decides to push him to last soon.
It is. I mean, Uber advantage. You know, they have got a few picks, but again, it's Gully Wash. You really need a huge advantage going here, and they may as well wait for this Uber. They're 85% right now, and you know, how many times have we seen, even in Prem, even the highest divs, where people have this huge Uber advantage and fail pushing into Gully Wash last?
It's just like, I don't know, it's a bit of a fortress sometimes. Like, it's really just about focusing under. Like, you managed to get a Pyro under there with you. angles, it can be quite difficult. I mean, nowadays, maybe going in with the super, Spy manages to sap the sentry, but it doesn't actually get killed. Sentry could be still alive. But 2 players actually on the point, sticks on it. Swanee manages to prioritize the point pretty well here. So much damage to the point, Swanee with a nice timed death there. And, I mean, Dave dying, but I mean, he managed to defend the point, so worth question mark?
Mr. Improbable did so much work. He actually came in, sapped the sentry. So that sentry, like, okay, it did get unsapped, but it wasn't doing any knockback to the Ubered players. So the combo had a great opportunity to get lots of space in on last. He actually takes down Dave as well to make sure that that entire exchange wasn't the worst sort of Uber into last in the world. But yeah, like we said, well, like you said, it's a fortress. It's a fortress. It's hard to get your players in and focus on the point during the time of that Uber exchange, but Gaeta eSports do have an advantage because of that late pick onto Dave. It's about 30-40%, and you know, I don't know, Refugee destroyers have to be careful here. They're trying to peek and get aggressive, but you know, they could get Ubered on and it would get very messy for them after that.
Yeah, it's really tracking Ubers pretty well here. I'm going to be intrigued to see if Killcom gets any frags here with this kind of interesting hover above Big Door. 2 going down there, so... Yeah. Wait, is it med? What?
Yeah, he gets Mache.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, and then look at the heavy change in price, I think is the name.
It's Chipo.
Is okay?
With the bait names.
With the bait names, I mean, who wants to make it easier for the casters? You know how Dave, but Dave goes down. No. Solo takes the SMG, and then Chippo's getting a 5th kill onto the engineer. It's all going on right now, but the most important thing is Dave is down and Matt J is back up. So despite dying earlier on, he is alive again, and it's going to have another Uber advantage for Gaeta eSports. They've retained control of this mid-fight buck and starting to come into their own here now.
Yeah, I think, like, I don't know, maybe this is like a bit of a warm-up, like, maybe they're kind of just getting into the feel of things, you know, with the calls and stuff like that, but we're trying to walk into second here, and Carby's kind of alone here, doesn't manage to kill the Spy, Spy's on pretty low health there, but we're trying to look into defend second here. Dave goes down though, Ghosted with a big flank play. I don't know how that didn't get, like, reflected or anything. Madman,
Yep.
no! Oh my god.
It's just going back and forth, isn't it? Yeah. I was just going to say, 40,000 kills on your flare gun. You don't want to get too close to Gorston. This man is a degreaser flare gun master. But yeah, Madman showing that he can just pretty much go for the med picks himself as well, taking down Maj. So now I think this is the first time in a while we've seen both medics spawn at the same time, but they now have equal Ubers, and now I think we're going to see a bit of a stalemate. But you know what? Saying that, who knows what could happen.
3 go down though for Refugee destroyers. Like, I mean, losing Coffee not gonna be that great, but Matchik goes down again. The spam pipes and spam sticks from Swanee. Like, Swanee been doing such a good job, just doing so much damage to them.
Swanee's just like, he's just taking the heals and just using the heals to walk forward and put pressure down in lobby. He's not letting Gaeta eSports take the lobby. He's like, you know what, you're not having that for free, but he does die there. You know, him and Nikura going down is pretty much a big deal. Look at Gorston, he's able to walk in here. There's no level 2 or level 3, as Mondias has got just a mini watching the point. But this Uber advantage does mean that Dave is walking forward with Nacho Dog. Getting some pressure onto Maje. He's actually going for him. He's down to about half HP. He's 31. Coca with the pipes keeps him alive, but Dave died, Buck, and I don't know how.
Oh no, I didn't even see that. See, this is the thing, man. Like, there's always random, unexpected plays for lower. Like, these teams need to like not neglect every single choke point with any one person on them. But yeah, 4 going down there, and it's going to be a 50% out for Matt J as he tries to sort of walk with his team into lobby here. Going to be trying to possibly peek him through main, and there's no sentry right now that I could see. So if they decide to go in here very soon once they build the super, this might be a round for them.
It could be. I mean, they just have to convert this, but what happened last time they tried to convert it?
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Gully is an advantage isn't always an advantage that you would think in another map. You know, getting a med pick or a sniper pick may be enough to push on King of the Hill or, you know, Payload. But look at Poi and Gorson. I think they may have slipped into lower there without being spotted. I'm not sure if they know. Look, they're going onto the point now, and Nico is caught off guard, and the Uber's going to be taken onto the point. He's just going to block the damage to allow Poi and Gorston and Coca just to get the cap there. And that was really well played. I mean, I thought the Uber was used kind of early, but they managed to get those players into water with no one noticing. They just snuck in there, and they managed to tie this up 10 minutes into the game. This 10 minutes have flown by, Buck. I have to say, this is it's been pretty fast, but 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, like, going to this next mid, I mean, that was rule 101 there, really, I think, for the Gully last. Like, they need at least one person watching under, so they can call it. But a big bomb in from Killcon onto the back lines, but I'm going to be trying to deny that with the help of Carpy. But Dave actually going down. Like, I keep missing these Dave frags. Like, I don't know what's going on. They just like seem to get them. I mean, 20 damage, but
it's the demos. Coca and Swanee, these pipes are lethal, and they're just getting really aggressive with them and taking down the meds. And I still don't know who's going to win this mid fight. There's better heals on Gaeta eSports because MadJ is still alive, but there are some players down. Refugee Destroyers are still fighting, just trying to get some pressure down, but no, Gorson and Onjo, wow, 5 kills between them to finish up that mid-fight, and I think that might be the first mid-fight they've won out of the 3, yeah.
The other ones have been pretty long drawn out, but yeah.
This is their choice. This is their map choice. So maybe maybe it was a little bit of nerves. Who knows? Maybe just needed to warm up, adjust to their opponents. That first round was extremely fast from Refugee Destroyers, but now they find themselves stuck on last with a 50% Uber dis ad. MadJ and his team are starting to walk through River, and I don't know. This River push has worked out pretty well for them in the past. Wonder if they're going to try and repeat exactly the same thing.
I guess trying to go under now though. Like again, they haven't really got anyone under. I mean, Foot's under there now. Gonna be trying to fight him with Nico, like Gorson. Gorson going down might actually be pretty big here. Like having no pirates actually able to people off the point and like help with the cap be pretty big. Spy goes in, manages to get Chippo, but Poi though, Poi's alive on full health. Walks on it with help of the NG and the Soldier, and we'll just cap that out. So that's a quick 2 on there. So 2 rounds actually quite quick there, despite Sensations Refugee Destroyers getting the quick first round.
Yes, the old 1-2, isn't it? Bam, bam, you know, you're 1-0 up, and okay, they weren't cruising, they were on their last, but they were defending well, but now 2 quick, clean pushes, very clinical pushes, actually. That River push proving to be extremely effective for Gaeta eSports. We find ourselves now on the 4th mid-fight. Nacho Dog, so much pressure onto him, and Gorston's the first to die to Carpy.
For going down though, but Swanee putting out a lot of damage consistently in these mid fights, and Chip going to walk forward and helping Nicaro. Mama goes with a massive bomb on the side as well, leaving 3 up right now for Gaeta, as that should be a pretty decisive mid fight, and with the Meg going down as well, Dave going to be on a nice ad.
Yeah, Chipper got 3 kills there. The Heavy managed to gun down some people. Mr. Improbable with a backstab onto Carpy later on, so there's no sniper for Refugee Destroyers, and I'm actually wondering what they're doing. They're not capping mid, and Chippo and Dave are just kind of walking with Swanee on second, and they're going to lose Swanee to Gorston. Gorston just W'ing into them and just getting that damage down. They're still not capping mid here, and it's actually the Soldier, Kilpcon, defending that point for a slightly longer, just delaying those forward spawns actually. So, you know, look at the Uber for MadJ now. He's up to 50% despite dying on that mid fight. That Uber advantage isn't going to be as big as maybe Refugee Destroyers think it's going to be.
Yeah, they need to like trust Foot, I think. I mean, Foot's like damage has been pretty consistent as well, like throughout this. And if they Uber in on them, then like get some frag and change the mid, like I think they'll probably do a bit better off. But Carpy gets some nice headshots right now, sort of popping off. But yeah, as you said, like you know, Uber advantage has dwindled down 95% right now for MadJ, so they've done nothing really with this Uber ride, which is kind of disappointing to see. But they're going to be trying to go for shutter now. What's going to be trying to deny Butch? But Dave going to get air blasted back. With the rest of his team separated. Swanee trying to do as much damage as he possibly can, but 3 down already, and it's not looking great.
No, 3 down for either side, but the respawns for Gaeta eSports are coming thick and fast. But MadJ goes down to the Sentry of Asmondius. His only Chippo left alive, just sitting on balcony, all on his lonesome. Has to back away. Mr. Improbable is lurking as well on the second point. But yeah, I mean, like I said, maybe not expecting the enemy team to have that Uber. You know, pushing in, expecting it to be a bit of an advantage. But Dave dying at the sort of slightly earlier than MadJ there, just by a couple of seconds, does mean he's got about 5% advantage, but it's not huge. But they take down Coca, they take down Mankind as well. It's 2 gamers out of the way, 2 6s classes away, and so is Solo, Madman dominating the enemy sniper. That is so big pick spot for them to maybe just dry push this to last.
They should just go and call it. You can tell for the past 5 minutes, Chippo's has been calling for them to go forward. He's always been the furthest one forward as the Heavy, which like you never really want to see. Like everyone else seems to be catching up with him and Dave, honestly, and he seems to be walking in. Like I mean, they got the 3 picks, but those picks have now respawned, and they're now in return 3 downs. So they haven't really managed to take much off that. But yeah, it's gonna be sort of roughly even for now.
This is, I mean, should we say the S word? Should we dare say stalemate? There's been no stalemates yet.
No. Wait, the lobby stalemate.
The lobby stalemate. I mean, there's been plenty of opportunity for stalemates on this map so far, and we're well over halfway already. And you know, there hasn't been stalemates. But MadJ goes down. That's going to be the first drop of the game, I think. Carpy with the body shot, and he actually gets the freaking train sign out and just hammers down Mr. Improbable. I don't think I've seen that weapon used like ever. It's just a reskin, isn't it, right? But Carpy's still popping up, takes down Solo as well. The Uber's going to come in here. They got a huge advantage. Swanee's just going to rain stickies down across the point. Nicaro and Chippo are going to try and focus the cap as much as they can. Respawns are coming in, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Chippo just cutting down. Takes down like 4 or 5 players.
They weren't looking at him when they were on the point. They dropped down to it, but then he was on such low health. Like one scattergun shot would have killed him, but they were all looking in the opposite direction and they're on low health because of Swanee's damage. So that was just pretty well played there. But yeah, Carpy getting as the anti-frag is huge. Like I said before, like I think he can really go off, and they're gonna use him as a carrier. I think a lot of the time.
I mean, Carpy just really opened the door for them there, and I guess it was Chipper who just slammed it shut in the face of Gaeta eSports. But Dave goes down straight away in the mid-fight. It's Koga with those pipes again, and he also takes down Nicaro. These iron bombers just flying across the point and getting so much done for his team. And then you go Poi with the 2K, takes down Chippo and Nacho Dog. No 12 kill streak for Chippo this time. And it does look like Gaeta eSports are just trying to steady the ship here a little bit. It is equal on points for this first map, but this is their map choice. You'd think they'd be a lot more comfortable, potentially. Mr. Improbable with a nice backstab onto Swanee as well. So hopefully for them, they'll be able to just take this onto second.
Yeah, they've kind of returned the aggression, which is good to see. Like, I mean, Refugee Destroyers have been kind of like really aggro most of the time, and especially on the mids. Like even with like Dave dying and stuff like that, they just like felt like they needed to go forwards because you know what's the point of not going forwards? And yeah, they managed to kind of return the favour and get some aggro going forward. So they'll be trying to look to go in with 100%. I mean, they need to use their super ad now. They need to learn from the mistake of like losing the ad.
You see this again. I mean, they're at 75%. Gaeta eSports might think they have a bigger advantage than they actually do, because Dave has been building with his team, and you know they're 80% now. They have a sentry up. The Uber is going to be used again. They're going for this river push. Golston and Poi in the lower levels, trying to go in through water. And there we see Dave at 95%. He's lost 4 members of his team, but the counter Uber is going to come out onto Swanee. Nacho Dog trying to pressure Coca out there. Fizzy Pug's trying to block off and actually takes down the medic with the Latronja. There's only 3 players up, and Swanee has to do so much work here, and he's trying, but it's not enough.
Oh my god. The boy, like, knockback from the Tomislav was, like, keeping him at bay from the melee attacks. He didn't manage to, like, kill him and then get to reload, but, yeah, that, I mean, they just needed to, like, possibly build slightly faster, but, I mean, they knew they had the ad, and, yeah, it's just a bit unfortunate with the people getting picked off in under, but there we go, 3-2 right now, so very back and forth game so far, CeeJaey.
It's very back and forth. 2/3 of the game gone, just 20 minutes of this half-an-hour match gone. Remember, this is win difference 5. So it's, you know, we're going to see a 5-0 or a 6-1 or something like that. Kilp kind of goes straight onto Dave, but he's not going to die straight away on this mid-fight. He stays alive with his team. He has to watch out for those coca pipes, potentially. But it does look like a much more passive fight this time. Carpy opens things up, and a big reflect from Nicaro. And then Dave goes down to Honjo. And then Matche goes down to Carpy. Everyone's dying back.
It's a massive DM fest on the point right now. Scout versus Demo. Come on, Foot, you can win this. Oh, they trade! Look at the point, that's a wipe coming out onto Refugee Destroyers as yeah, they slowly cap this out. But yeah, these mid-fights have been like getting closer and closer. It's at least it's fun to watch.
It is, but it does look like Gaeta eSports starting to stamp their authority on the game, and this is always what happens on a 5CP map. You get to this point, questions start to be raised. You know, they're 3-2 up, they have a bit of an Uber ad, it's not huge, but they have control of mid, and maybe they want to slow things down here. Maybe they're going to think, okay, we don't want to push, we're in the lead, the pressure is on the other team to make something happen here. They have to go for us. They have to, you know, get a point on the board. We can just sit and wait. And actually, this Uber advantage is going to be about 30%. They've been building pretty well. And I don't know. I mean, what would you do in this situation? Are you gonna chill on mid, or are you gonna try and just really enforce it and get another round on the board?
I mean, to be fair, usually I'm not that comfortable like parking the bus with just a 1-round lead. But I mean, I don't know. It really depends on the time. 9 minutes, possibly could get away with it, but I mean, yeah, Madman trying to go for the sniper there, just choke, but trying to see what picks they can get. They're really passive right now, though, for Refugee Destroyers.
Do you know what? We're blind.
Okay.
I think we're blind because I'm pretty sure Matche. I'm trying to find him. I'm losing gamers here, but Matche is on crits. Ooh. So
yeah, he's
yeah.
using his gamers. could come in now, though.
It's the what do you call it? The quickie bomb launcher. So that's why they had it like a 30-40% Uber ad, because they had crits. But yeah, I mean, they wait so long. So that whole kind of spiel that we just gave of, do they want to sit on mid and do nothing, or do they want to push? Yeah, it's pointless. I mean, they're running crits. They kind of have to enforce the issue now, because, hey, if you run crits against an Uber, you have to get the kills. Otherwise, they're just going to become invincible and destroy you. And we see CeeJaey at 70% now, but Karpi takes down Solo. And they're starting to get some picks here. FizzyPug with the backstep onto Kilpcon. So 2 gamers down for Gaeta eSports, and the crits in any second now is going to be out for CeeJaey.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe they should be peeking in people through, like, Big Door. Like, I really think if they bring Karpi to Big Door, you can get some frags. He might be able to, like, kill CeeJaey even if he stood in the wrong place for too long as well. So, I don't know, maybe just be peeking a bit more. But, I mean, obviously they want to be careful against the crits. They're now on 90%. I mean, Coca's looking to get in here with this crits. They're possibly trying to bait out a bomb, but it's a bit of a stalemate. But now it's going to be Uber versus crits, I think, because, yeah, Uber still for Dave.
They're waiting quite long. They have the advantage. They have players in position. I'm not quite sure what they were waiting for. Maybe it's just a scare tactic. Maybe they're just, you know, trying to make it look like they're going to push and bait it. I'm not sure, but they are holding close to choke. So it's not like, I mean, Refugee Destroyers could just Uber in here and they're not going to have much denial.
Yeah, they just need to trust Swanee in foot. Like, that's what I mean. They just need these aggro Ubers. Like, they've had aggro in the past and just managed to damage them. Like, even if it's not been in the Ubers. But you know, if they take that forwards here and just, they can kill the med like pretty easily. I mean, he's stood pretty close. What they should be doing is getting FizzyPug behind, like if possible, and then having him com where they are possibly, and then.
Well, I think that's what Mr. Improbable's doing. Look where he is. He's on the second point, behind the point, and he's just watching. He's just cloaked up. He's watching, just maybe waiting for a time to maybe go for a pick onto the medic. But at the moment, he's just letting his team know, you know, this is what's going on, this is what I see, this is where they stood, as Karpi gets another headshot onto Solo. So let's snipe it down, and look at Karpi, he's being really aggressive in the choke now, just wanting to get that angle.
Yeah, like this. Like, the angle's really kind of bad, though, from Show. They should just be going Big Door with him, like I said before. But, I mean, the Uber's going to come out now. But this Uber's, like, completely kited. Like, they're really slow to go in here. And that Uber's achieved nothing, basically. So they're going to come in here with crits. Coca there? Yeah, Coca's there. So they're going to be probably using the onto Coca right now. They're all on the point, stacked at the point. Coca going to get some crit sticks. He's taking so much damage, though, and some nice denial. And that actually goes in the favour of Refugee Destroyers, though.
Yeah, it's Swanee just standing in the big door area and just saying, okay, you're going to crits? I'm just going to shoot loads of stickies at you, and gets a ton of damage, including a frag onto the medic. So now Dave at 70% has this huge Uber advantage over CeeJaey. CeeJaey is on the respawn and he's back onto Uber now. So deciding that sort of little affair with crits isn't worth going back to for this last hold. And I mean, Uber advantage push into last. We've seen some successive ones of those so far, but we won't see anything for the time being, because look at all these gamers floating in the air, doing the little bicycle as we paused.
Yeah, I gotta love these close to the end of the matches Highlander pauses. They're my favourite, to be fair.
I mean, what? It's not a Highlander final without pause, is it? I mean, it gives us time to...
That's a fact, CeeJaey, at this point.
Yeah. It's like, you know, you say grace at the start of a meal, you know? You say what you're thankful for. You need that in Highlander.
Not pauses, definitely.
So we use the pauses to say what we're thankful. We're thankful for Highlander. Thank you, Highlander, for giving us a game mode where there is always people being late and always pauses in casts. And shenanigans. We do like the shenanigans.
Yeah, we've got loads of floating around gamers. I mean, look at the situation right now. We got Dave coming to 100%. So I'm really expecting them to just sort of trust in Chippo and Nico here. Going to plonk them under, try and do what Gorson's been doing. And I think if they buff their pyro, like, it's actually quite hard to deal with the pyro under, like, unless you've got like the specific people there. Like I personally, like, if I play heavy, like, I just like to sit under. Sometimes you'll have like a scout there, or like maybe even the pyro. It just really depends. But yeah, they're going to be, the pressure is definitely on Refugee Destroyers now, since there's about 5+ minutes left because the time is bugged. But yeah, about 5 minutes. I mean, it's the pressure is definitely on. I mean, if they get around here, then we're all tied up with a few more minutes to go, the potential of a golden cap looming on the horizon. But definitely they have a huge opportunity here to go, and this sort of river push, that's what they did for their first round, and it's what Gaeta eSports seem to be preferring, to go in, you know, getting their heavy, getting their the heavy and the pyro into water, that area underneath the point,
and just sort of get some cap time, get some pressure while an Uber comes in on the demo, the scout, someone else, just to be, making you look in multiple ways. I'm just taking a look at Nicaro here. He's back on mid. Mr. Improbable is in what I can imagine is
not
hell.
a good scenario.
Yeah, hell for spies. He's just permanently burning right now. He's just, he's in his paws and he's just screaming, please stop.
Warm.
Keeping him warm. Yeah. It's a cold day today. Maybe that's what he needs.
It is, to be fair. It's very cold there. Here in the UK.
Yes, I mean... Oh, and we are on pause. Mr. Improbable dies, as expected.
Yeah.
That wasn't very improbable.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew it.
I apologize. But Dave, I'm imagining getting ready to go in with this Uber, and yes, again, they're going in through River. Nicaro and Chippo are in underneath the point. Uber's going to come in, and Madman's going to jump in. Honjo's gone down, so no engineer to rebuild stuff. Gorsuch's going to try and contest the point. There are a lot of damage going down. Swanee takes on the enemy demo. Poi's gone down to Nacho Dog. They have to get some cap time now. It's Fizzy Pug, and they're going to swamp it, and it is 3-3 Bug.
Yeah, that's a pretty... I was actually worried there, because Py didn't take any damage for a very long time. I was worried he's going to get like a 5k on low health players, but yeah, Swanee comes in with some end sticks and pipes to kind of clean that up. Where
do you think this is going to go?
It's hard to tell.
Minutes? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been very back and forth. I mean, I have a weird feeling that Gaeta might just like randomly just hold W even more now, just because they know that everything's on the line for this one map, and just kind of rush it in, but we'll wait and see.
They are the higher seeds. I mean, so technically they've got 2 maps. Yeah, but we'll see how this goes, and it's going to be KiltCon as the first casualty of this midfight, going down to Chipper, who's in fact dominating him. And just take a look at Refugee storage. They're all clumped up on the point, but they get so much cap time, it's not allowing Gaeta eSports to walk in, so they're not deciding to W. Solo getting the kill onto Carpi, but this is where the pause happened. Yeah. It looks like Dave times out, so that's really unfortunate, essentially losing their medic on a mid-fight there.
Yeah, that was not good timing for Dave to time out there. But yeah, they managed to get the mid-fight anyway, but they're going to be pushing back in, obviously, because of the fact that Dave's not here and they have obviously complete Uber ad. And Nico are going to get picked up there. They seem to be kind of passive here, obviously, trying to quiet them. Chip gets picked up as well. They seem to not get completely rolled here. As long as enough of them live, they should be okay.
Yeah, they just need to stabilize, get themselves into a decent position, and just, it is 3-3, and again, there's going to be some buttocks clenching, I feel, so you don't want to make a mistake, you don't want to be the gamer that is the reason for your team's loss on this map, because the next round could potentially win it. If we are 3-3 at the end of this, we'll be going to a golden cap, but for now, the potential's still there, and I guess it's all down to Gaeta eSports. They're in the driving seat. They have control of mid, and if they win a good exchange here, they could potentially just roll this to last.
Yeah, I was expecting more momentum from them there. I mean, they kind of like the sat and showed. No one really peeked it that far, so they didn't see there was only 3 people around the corner. Like, they had like 7 people next to the choke there. They could have just all walked through at the same time and probably won that fight. But yeah, not managed to sort of walk in there. But they're going to be using Uber now. Dave's coming up to Uber just about now, so probably will be using on Nico to try and defend this in the choke. Man needs to be careful he doesn't get caught out here, which I think he might do. But Mr. Probably getting caught out by doing a nice turnaround from Chippo. But the med is still behind Hello Team.
Oh no, he suicides. Hits his kill point. That's so unfortunate for him, but he just gets blasted in by the pyro, and because of that, the rest of his team is just falling by the wayside. They don't have the heals, and Dave is just pumping that healthy goodness into his team, keeping them alive. And now they've recaptured mid off of the back of this, so looking pretty good for them. And they do have a big Uber advantage. Kilgun comes in, gets a nice frag onto Carpi, and Majay with the saw onto Fizzy Pug. So, gonna get a little bit of Uber from that, I guess, but it's still going to be a disad.
Yeah, Dave's still building okay with the rest of his team here, sort of capping out second. Gonna be trying to look to go in very soon. I mean, they need to be like, they know they have ad, I think. I mean, even with that Fizzy Pug saw, I think they possibly should just push in anyway. I mean, they might be a bit tentative, just making sure everything goes alright. I mean, they might try and wait for Carpi to get an entry frag or something, but yeah, with foot going down, that's going to be a scout now, so not really much aggro.
Yeah, I mean, if they push in now, there's not that much time for the enemy team to push all the way back. I didn't mean they can't lose the round from this position, so they may as well go in and try and get something done. They do lose players there. Fizzy Pug and Carpi going down to their opponents. And we do see the Uber used, but it's used early, and there we see the return. Uber comes in onto Gorston. Madman is in deep but he's not getting much done, and then Poi is all too wise to the shenanigans from Chippo this time. He's going to defend the point, and it does look a bit of a fluff there from Refugee destroyed. And less than a minute now to go, Buck, and I mean, maybe one more push left in the bank.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I think they just felt like they kind of needed to go there with Aluba since the time, and like that was kind of their opportunity to do it. But yeah, going to be kind of losing quite a lot of frags now, so going to be 40 seconds to be kind of possibly grinding the logs since both teams possibly know they're not really getting anywhere. But I mean, they don't have a level 3, so maybe if they just DM at the end, I don't know. It's going to have to be very quick though.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at Mankind. He's building with his medic, actually using the Boston Basher to hurt himself and build up that Uber for Magi. So they have 100%, and Dave is only at 80%. So if they're not careful, this could go wrong. But Swanee's gone down. That's a huge pick from Solo. No demo for this last exchange. Mr. Improbable gets the backstop onto Dave. That is going to be all she wrote. They all start to die to this Uber from Magi. And that is a stalemate. You're all losers, as TF2 tells us. But I think we're all winners, Buck, actually, because we get to watch more Highlander.
More Gully Wash. So if you like Gully Wash, Golden Caps on Gully Wash are your favourite thing right now with the 3-3. It's actually interesting to see like it being 3-3. Like I think if it was to be a draw, I wouldn't have expected it to be this many rounds. In all fairness, I thought it would have been like 1-1 or 2-2 maybe. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how kind of this develops. I mean, what do you think sort of Refugee Destroyers need to change up there if they're trying to push into last? Because I mean, their last pushes have been like kind of inconsistent, but like I think when they play off the under, it seems to work better.
I think they're pushing in and not realizing that Magi has caught up in the Uber. Like they had a 50% Uber, and that's, you know, in sixes is much more fast paced, isn't it? Because you got scouts, you got soldiers, you zoom around with your medic. So if you have an Uber advantage, it's quite easy to get onto the other team in time. But in Highlander, it's much more slower on 5 CP at least. So you have to bear in mind that if you get this medic pick and you have an Uber advantage, that Uber advantage doesn't last forever. And if the enemy team starts to build and actually has their medic up and healing, then they're going to catch up. And yeah, I think that's caught them out a couple of times. They've pushed into last, not realizing Magi has a charge, and it's just been easily denied. I think if they stop, if they don't feed people, you know, a couple of times again, in that last push we saw, they dropped a couple of people before they even pushed. If they stop doing that, then a lot more consistent, definitely. Gaeta eSports looking a little bit shaky, I have to say, considering this is their mat pick. They did very well to come back from 1-0 down to take the lead, but I don't know. Who do you think is gonna kind of win this?
I'd probably still say like, I mean, they defended last there like pretty comfortably. Like they didn't look too shaken, so they might have just like warmed up. And if you know, since this is their map pick, and they would have picked it like if they're confident on it. So I'm hoping they kind of like just go off the picks really, Gaeta, and like try and cut this out for their own map pick. But I mean, you know, with the players coming out from like Carpi and Madman, like I wouldn't be surprised if they can quickly turn it around, and they don't defend that great against the Refugee Destroyers aggro. But yeah, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, who do you think you're saying about the Asmondius? Madman and Carpi. Who's really making the plays for you on Gaeta eSports at the moment?
To be fair, them two have been making plays, but I mean, also Swanee has been doing so much damage for them. Like, it's actually crazy on the mid fight, so how much spam he's able to get out, like almost for free. But yeah, I think it's mainly just going to be a team effort there. And I think if they manage to keep Dave alive as well, like, and like track these Uber ads and push them in, they might have a better chance against the last pushes.
We'll see what happens. Refugee Destroyers in the blue and Gaeta eSports in the red. And you know what? I'm going to raise my hand and say I'm not sure about the Golden Cap win conditions. I do believe it is just you win a round and that is it. But don't think there's no time limit. So
infinite time limit.
Infinite time limit. We could be here all night, ladies and gentlemen. But does look like Refugee Destroyers have something to say about it. Look how weak Coca is. Very, very weak. And Nicaro is just on the chase, manages to take down Mankind.
Yeah, I thought he'd get the mid there, to feel like, but yeah, he misses the demo as well, because the demo was just sitting on, and the demo returned the favour. Coca getting some nice damage onto them on the point, but yeah, the picks will be going in favour of Refugee Destroyers as Gate is now sort of holding choke. It's going to be 100% coming for both mids, and going to be possibly thinking about rotating Big Door. To be fair, I've noticed both teams haven't really pushed Big Door that much. They always like to push choke. It's interesting to say.
it's a really good angle for the sniper, isn't it?
Yeah.
And both these snipers have been doing well, so it would make sense. We see Madman going in, he's actually getting chuckled in the air by Mankind. Oh, and the fight hits him from Coca, brilliant. But, I mean, yeah, I agree with you there. Like, sort of, the big door push we've not seen, really, and it's such a good angle just to get some pressure down. You know, pressure the flank, but also get your sniper in there onto an angle and maybe get some decent kills. But it looks like they just want to hold these choke areas and maybe exchange there. Solo's actually on the top of the rock, so he's playing really passive. Trying to find Carpy now, and he's just watching sort of this regular angle, maybe trying to get Gorston, who's just peeking with that flare gun. But maybe now is when we get the stalemate.
Yeah, I mean, one of these teams is going to have to step up and say, you know what, let's go for it, make the play, but then there's always that risk factor, isn't there, of, like, you know, if you screw up, like, how much are you going to lose? But the sap play comes in now. Mammon with a nice rocket, nice reflect coming out from Gorston, though. Fizzipug goes in, but doesn't find anything there, so, I mean, that's a two-person sap wave there for the men, not going to find anything. So whether they actually want to do anything with these two pick advantage, we'll have to see. Yeah,
MatJ not using there, despite having a soldier right on top of him. Actually, Solo takes down Carpy, so... you know, Uber is actually going to be used onto Boy here, and Chippo gets dropped out of this Uber. So Swanee is going to be having to do the majority of the legwork here. Boy is still in. A lot of players dead for Gaeta eSports. This has not gone well for them. MatJ has survived, but he's introed with Coca. Could get flanked here. Nacho Dog is on him, but nice. Coca with the sticks. As Mindius is on him now. MatJ is dodging and weaving. He stays alive. Coca is just a one-man medic protection machine.
Yeah, Coco did a really good job though, actually. Like, he didn't overextend in show, which is the important thing. He didn't, like, he judged the Ubers really well, and he, like, kind of managed his ammo pretty consistently as well. So, yeah, doing a lot of work for his team there, as the rest of Refugee Destroyers going to be sitting on the other side of the point. Coco trying to go in right now. Madman with a big bomb though, managed to get the med and the demo, as the rest of the team isn't really around to protect them. So, they need to just try and take this momentum now really quickly, and might be able to seal off this round if they're actually fast enough.
I mean, look at the amount of players dead for Gaeta eSports. 2 players alive. MatJ just spawning now, Dave at 75%. We were talking about them not really sort of realizing the enemy medic catching up in the Ubers, but this is such a huge Uber advantage, Bug. I don't think they can mess it up here.
Yeah, well, you may have heard of this thing called Caster's Curse, CeeJaey. But yeah, we're trying to go for this river side, possibly going for that under push like we were mentioning with the pyro and the heavy and that sort of thing. But I mean, Lobby's going to be trying to contest it by the soldier here, Kilcon, spamming it out. They do have a level 3 going up, and Carpy going down is not going to be helpful either, as Soul actually wins that one now. So yeah, 2 down actually, Nico going down and Madman going down, so this push is not looking that great with so many people going down so early. How do they feed?
This is what I was talking about, like, that was their other problem. Getting ready for the pushes and losing players. They lose 4 players, and they go. Nacho Dog dies as well, so that's just even extending the time. So what was an Uber push against 50%, a huge advantage for them. They dropped 4 players, and now they have to chill, and MatJ is going to catch up. Actually looking to push out here.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the confidence. I mean, just be careful, because I mean, they've kind of pushed that like 4 times as soon as I've come in. It's going to be a 2-person Uber here. Chippo and Swanee going in. Managed to get a lot of picks though, 4 up right now. Boy on reload health, Swanee missing the melee. Scout comes in, and it's going to be a massive cap for Refugee Destroyers winning out that map with that push. I'm not really sure where Gaeta eSports were there.
They try to back out through lobby, and Nicaro just does that thing that Pyros do and held W and just gets so much damage down. I'm not sure if he got the credit for the kill on MatJ, but MatJ did die, and they lost about 3, 4, 5 players trying to retreat there. I don't agree with them trying to push out. You know, they were, you know, they did have a 4-man advantage, I guess, but it was still equal Ubers, and Refugee Destroyers did have the high ground. It's never easy to push out of Gully Watch last, especially in the Golden Cap. I wouldn't have risked it personally, and it's to their detriment in the end. As just a quick repush with that Uber seals it out for Refugee Destroyers on Gaeta eSports map. This was, of course, Gaeta's choice of map. As the top seed, they picked 2 maps. This was one of their choices. So now Refugee Destroyers, taking the victory 4-3 in a golden cap, will be now moving to their choice. So, you know, if they seal out on their choice, if they play and win in the same sort of fashion, Buck, they're going to win it 2-0.
Yeah, it's going to be a big morale boost as well for Refugee Destroyers winning against the enemy team's picked map. Moving on to, is it Coal Plant?
Yeah,
Oh
coal
yeah, coal
plant.
plant. Yeah,
Coal
yeah,
plant.
okay. And it's also so looking at these logs as well. So top fragging is actually Coca for Gaeta, but it's actually Chippo the heavy top fragging going big on Gully Wash for Refugee Destroyers. So managing to slam them pretty hard. And in terms of damage, yeah, both demos doing reasonably well. But yeah, just overall pretty well played from Refugee Destroyers there to clear that out.
Yeah, I mean, these logs are pretty equal when you look across the board. I like it when you see sort of all the classes clumped together in that way. I mean, Coca and Swanee, Coca actually getting 7 more kills there, but damage-wise, both hitting just over the 13k mark. Both heavies actually doing really well. Soldiers getting 24, 22 kills. Both NGs getting 20 kills, 20 kills. It's pretty equal across the board. You can't separate them that much. But yeah, it was more tactical actually. But if you take a look at the team stats, you got kills 186. 186. Both teams getting 186 kills. Both teams getting 66,000 damage. Just about 730 damage more for Gaeta eSports. So close, actually. Mid-fights 1 is pretty much the same as well. 3 to 5, 1 drop per team, 15 to 30 noobers. This is extremely close across the board. We're going to look at the individual stats, though. I also want to see who gets the most med picks. It's actually Mr. Improbable. Gets 4. It's a number of gamers there on 3, but Mr. Improbable is the highest with 4. But yeah, I mean, we were talking about what did Refugee Destroyers need to do to win that, but what do Gaeta eSports need to do now? Like, on the back of that, it doesn't look like it's an individual thing, because their players are holding their own against their opponents. It's not like they're getting outclassed, but tactically, what do they need to do coming into Coal Plant?
I think you mentioned it earlier, like about the nerves, possibly. Like, I think it's something. It's definitely something to do with the comms, because those logs are testament as to how close the game was. After all, right? I mean, it was a 3-3 draw, and then it had to go to a golden cap, and these logs and how even they are just overall. With some people on like varying different classes might have like slightly more or less damage, but. I think what Gaeta needs to do really is just sort of be a bit more brave. I think like trusting like their scout and their demo, go off the picks, like especially onto like Carpy and that sort of thing. Like, it means they can peek the point a bit more and their demo's a bit more protected, and just sort of close off the damage as well, like being able to chase kills, and they might sort of adapt around that.
I mean, yeah, snipers are such a good class, I would say. It's fairly important in Highlander. I don't know what you think. Yeah. Especially on King of the Hill. We are going to see at least one King of the Hill map here. Of course, if Refugee Destroyers win this map, they will be champions of Division 2 and are guaranteeing themselves a place in Division 1 for Season 18. But Gaeta eSports need to win this map. They need to win it. Otherwise, that is it. Otherwise, they are done and dusted as second place gamers, coming in as the top seeds. So of course, if they do win this, they'll be going on to Warmtick, which is their second choice. They got 2 map choices being the top seeds. So maybe they would be hoping that momentum carries them through, but definitely Refugee Destroyers in the driving seat at the moment. So for those of you just joining us, this is the Div 2 Grand Final for Season 17 of ETF2L Highlander. We see Gaeta eSports, the top seeds, against Refugee Destroyers, the second seeds, who won through their semi-final earlier on in the week to book a place in this final. And they've actually, against all odds, beaten their opponents on the first map, Gaeta eSports map pick, no less. 4-3 in a golden cap on Gully Wash, and now we're on Coal Plant. Snipers are definitely the order of play here. And this is a map we've seen more and more, Buck. I mean, are there any kind of special strats you have, like personally as a team, sort of to try and counter the sniper? Like anyone you want to send after them?
I mean, it's always interesting to see, really. I mean, one key thing I like to see on this map in particular is having the sword. Like, if you manage to cap the point and you've got all 9 people alive, and you like say it's like even Ubers, you have like some of your flank sort of hold on the other, like on the doorway side, like where the sniper likes to peek next to the sort of wooden fence that blocks the sight line a bit. If you have the soldier sort of stood on that roof, it's always a nice spam angle. He just needs to be careful he doesn't get sniped himself, or as I've seen like some demos and Prem do, like I think Joe likes to do it quite a lot. He like sits up there with the sticks just above the door and just waits for someone to peek it. That can also work. So they need to like sort of focus on blocking off this sight lines. Also, not to forget the level 3 in shutter strat that I think Spamfest and Clark do quite often now, and it seems to be quite a fan favorite. But it doesn't always work. Depends how those teams play around it. how lucky the spies are, that sort of thing.
So who do you think is going to be the big players for Gaeta eSports to really counter the sniper pressure? I mean, who needs to step it up a little bit on this map in order for them to get the win?
I think it probably needs to focus the sniper a bit more. I know he probably got like a decent amount of picks onto Carpy, but on this map in particular, I think he's going to have to go for those, and also looking for Kiltcon to go for some just all-out bombs. It's like no-fear bombs into like the particular people he needs to, whether it be like a force or go for the sniper, that sort of thing. But yeah, I think trusting in Coca and Mankind is going to be key here for them to try and take the aggro forwards. Just focusing the right classes, like focusing Chippo, because he's been having like the game of his life basically, just DMing them. Making sure those focus calls come out and then they can get the damage done.
We are just seeing the gamers warming up here, and I'm kind of happy we're not seeing Payload. I mean, I don't dislike Payload.
There has been a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes seeing that much Payload is you get a bit of an overdose of Payload. Just I'm done now. I want to see some sort of just DM. Just want to see people running at each other.
MG.
Yeah, MG Highlander. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, predictions, score.
I'm going to say the morale boost Refugee Destroyers have right now and the aggro that they've shown that they can do is probably going to allow them to take this, possibly. But I think this is going to be another close one. I mean, the logs from the last game kind of proved how close it can be. So, I don't know. Maybe Gaeta might, they need to refresh and then, maybe they'll show something different.
They have to definitely do something here, and they're readying up. We are just waiting for Refugee Destroyers to respond. Carpy is on Sniper, Wiethoofd. Wiethoofd's not very good at his job. We have to give him information.
Oh,
he's on Soldier in the pregame. He's on Soldier.
Might go down rosters again, to be fair.
I mean, who goes their right class in the pregame? I mean, it's I see. It's a lot of different versions of my face on the server, and that's
here we go again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the word is.
Are you proud of this? Are you proud of this, CeeJaey? Look,
proud,
the community
maybe,
coming together to
slightly
support
horrified. I mean,
the big calls.
Yeah. Shout out to my my dodgy webcam for freezing my face in a creepy pose.
Oh yeah.
But hey, you know what? It's a Twitch emote now. Just It's the future. It's the future. Seeing Koi in the pregame on the Natasha though, Buck. Is Natasha something? You are a heavy main turned medic.
Oh god, I knew it would happen eventually.
Natasha, I think it was Extra Solo running it yesterday. Is this something? Is this a new thing? I've been out of action for a season. Is this the next meta?
Personally, I don't really like to run it that often. I'll only really run it if like the scout is an absolute god and carrying. But I don't know. That's really about it. On a map like this, it's just like, I mean, a lot of the times, like, I don't know, you remember back a few weeks ago, or like kind of recently, I can't remember when, but I just remember like Layla just tanking Poker, and he peeked from under and just manages to like do so much damage and just get so many frags with the minigun, and just trusting his own DM capabilities on the heavy class, and doing pretty good with that. So I think that's probably the best strategy, to be honest.
I mean, I'm going to argue. I haven't played heavy properly in Highlander for played like one season.
You pug it enough, CeeJaey.
I pug it enough, but I mean that's I just go Thomas Lab and sit on the cliff on Product and just wait for people to jump at me. It's good fun. I'm looking at Fizzy Pug right now doing a spy crab across the point. Everyone is just ignoring him. He's just really, it's like the T pose of TF2, right?
Yeah.
It's like he's just really asserting his dominance on the enemy team. But we are live. Refugee Destroyers, a map to the good. Just need to win this to be crowned Div 2 champions. They're in the blue. Gaeta eSports need this to make it and turn it into a third map. They're in the red. And we see a big jump from Kiltcon, but he's going to get shot in the air and gunned down by long have we waited Brexit. I think that is Chippo changing his name. Cheeky little soldier, but it does look like Swanee is going to clean house here. Magic goes down to Nicaro, and wow, one gamer alive.
Yeah, Mankind is living there. There's going to be big damage coming off of Swanee there, still on that mid, but managed to capture that pretty comfortably. Dave, we've seen 100%. Just need to watch this roof. Like, from watching the previous games, just some of what Chippo showed me anyway, like, I feel like they need to watch this roof a bit more. This roof gets neglected a lot, I like to say, on this map. Prem teams will watch it quite often, but some of the teams might forget about it, and all it takes is one bomb, like it's happening right now. As Dave going down to really low health. Oh, the last rocket can't connect. That's very unfortunate from KritzKast, as Dave managed to deliver.
Balls of steel of that man, Dave. At 17 HP, doesn't pop. Respect. But yeah, still uber advantage for him. MatchA about 70%, and I mean, that's really like they're stamping their authority on this map already. That huge mid fight, keeping the medic alive, really just saying, hey, this is our map choice. You need to do something big here. Fizzybug is lurking, but he's going to get caught out there by Poi, who is running the Natasha, it looks like. So are going to see this being run, but they're trying to walk forward now with their charge, and a very early Uber hit back, and they're going to exchange.
Yeah, so going to be saved by the Uber there right now, and just be doing so much damage to them. Nicker's still on this roof though, and Chico kind of passive here, but 4 down right now actually, 4 Refugee destroyers, so need to be careful here. Nicker going to get picked up in the back lines as well. MatchA not going down, Swanee going down really low, as they're going to be trying to get spammed out, and trying to wait for that arrow from Dave, does get it. But yeah, too many people going down there, kind of lost them that point.
Yeah, they do have to give it up, but I mean, chalking off, what, a minute and a half? That's pretty decent from a mid-fight, yeah. I mean, now we're just going to see the opposite thing, I imagine. Some sacks going in to try and get a play onto MatchA.
Yeah, KritzKast going down, so no bombs expected onto Dave. Mama goes in, just get a lot of damage. It does actually go down, I think. Yeah, it does go down. So Foot managed to pick off that frag as the rest of them just walk onto the point, and wow, not pretty much contesting there apart from this mini from Honcho. So pretty well played it. Just hold W onto the point for Dave and Refugee destroyers.
Dude, it wasn't like Madman did all the work, I guess. He hit 2 rockets, but he was going to die, and MatchA was just surviving. I think Nacho did about 6 damage. He was capping, just peeked around the corner, was like, yeah, just steals the kill and gets the med pick. I mean, anyway, you can get it, I guess, but Coca goes in onto Dave. Dave doesn't use again. He is not scared, and they still have a huge Uber advantage. As we do see some sacks coming in from Gaeta eSports, but it looks like they're trying to struggle here. Carpi goes down to Mr. Improbable though, so maybe that's going to give some space for Solo to make some plays.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Gaeta right now. The one thing they need to stop doing is peeking on this side onto the roof. Like, they need to go to the opposite side, like trusting their sniper, trusting their mini to just distract them, and then try and walk it from that angle. Because Nicker on the roof, and the spam coming over the top of it, it's just not going on for them right now. As you know, even the bombs onto Dave haven't really been that successful.
I remember talking to the engineers after the last time I saw this map, I think it was in the Prem final. Look at these sentries in the doorway. There is a level 3 from Asmondias, and there is a mini sentry gets taken down there from Honjo. But I mean, the level 3 in the shutter door, like, it doesn't matter with the Uber exchanges. Once the Uber's over, you just open that door and that level 3 is just going to go BAM and just shoot anything that tries to cap the point. It just seems to be the most effective strat at the moment, as Gaeta eSports just going to swarm the point, but it's not going to be enough. Pretty sure this is going to be the first round to go to Refugee Destroyers.
Yeah, looking really strong there. I mean, they got a lot of time off that, just that one mid-fight, just said 90 seconds, and then, yeah, Gaeta only getting 30 seconds almost from their single cap. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you think Gaeta need to change up here, apart from this kind of one-side push?
I think they need to push from a different area. I mean, I think they need to work around their sniper a little bit more. Like, at the moment, they're just going in for the sacks, going for the forces, and, you know, they maybe need to just switch it up a little bit. They are going underneath here, Buck, so this is an interesting push.
Yeah, try and trust in the damage onto this balcony area. I mean, Dave goes down really low, Jimmy goes down low, Gorse is actually holding W into the Madman. White dies to the afterburn. No, I guess sandwich. Give it a vibe, but there's only 2 up right now, forget even before that.
Dave died, but I mean, Dave died to Mankind, who just sort of W'd in, got behind, and got some nice shots, but MatchA dies there because there's only a couple of players alive for Gaeta eSports, and in the end it is going to turn out to be a mid-win for Refugee Destroyers, and they end up with an Uber advantage. I mean, if MatchA had got out there with a couple of survivors from his team, they would have been able to push in with an Uber advantage at this point, but they decided to sort of stay in there, and they switch it up now. So running crits, do you think this is the good adaptation, Buck? Do you think this is what they needed to do?
I mean, if they want to play more long range, Chris is definitely the way to go. I mean, it's definitely the way to get out more damage. Like, if they want to try and focus heavy and stuff like that. And if they play on the sentry as well, they try and coat it.
Solo!
Never mind.
Did you see that headshot?
No.
He picks off Swanee in midair, and then Nago Kilp jumps in, gets nice damage onto Dave, and gets taken down by Mankind. and Solo is just popping off at the moment. MadJ goes down. That's going to be a very long spawn on that man. Well played by Madman right at the end there. Of course, if you're in control of the point, your spawns are longer than the opposing team, so that's probably the one black mark on that push, but I really like it. They were playing around their sniper. He's starting to get some shots back, and they're looking a little bit more comfortable now.
I don't know if you just saw that, but the NG was on 3 health on like Afterburn, and he uses his space stretch to live and go back to spawn. That was amazing.
Oh wow. Did he use a Banny Vines to sort of switch loadout in spawn? That's brilliant.
No idea.
I mean, who says engineer is a boring class? So if you can pull off things like that. Karpi, though, getting a body shot onto MadJ, and that man is just being focused really hard at the moment. Team maybe needs to give him a bit more protection. Refugee Destroyers capture the point, and they are going to retain their lead, Buck. So, again, really just kind of, they seem to be in control at the moment. It's really just Gaeta eSports reacting to what Refugee Destroyers are throwing at them.
Yeah, I think the comms from Gaeta are like a bit off as well. Like, there's people going for players when they're like, no one else is really in. It's kind of low morphing at this point. I mean, you got Soldier going in right now, but you know, Dave managed to kite that pretty well, so it's just solo Soldier jumping. But they need to just kind of commit more for these sack wares. I mean, they know Dave's on 100%. I mean, what's kind of the worst thing that can happen if they percent matcher?
Yeah, and oh, Karpi! Definitely Rip takes down Killcon in midair. I mean, he did what he said. He did what he said. You went to the force, but I mean, what can you do when that happens? We are going to have equal Lumbers almost, but actually the force does come on to Dave. MadJ is at 100% now and backing up, and it is a KritzKast, so we'll see if Goku can do anything here. It's used, and yeah, Refugee Destroyers have. Yeah, they've booked a holiday and they've gone. They're long gone.
They're out. Yeah, both Ubers were like absolutely abysmal there. Like, I don't even know what that was. I mean, maybe it's this, like, you know, like I said before about communication, maybe there's baited calls or something, and they just thought they were closer, but never mind. It's going to be sort of 30% for both. But, I mean, as we all know, Kritz does build faster than Uber if you're kind of both building at an even rate. But they're going to be kind of on this balcony area. They're taking a lot of spam. 3 down right now, Karpi going down and Mama going down. So MadJ should be reasonably comfortable right now to try and build off this one. But Swanee goes for a big bomb. Manages to get Coke in return, and he doesn't have a faster spawn, so that might actually favour him.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Solo. He was outscoring everyone on his team, and there you go. He's on a 5 kill streak. Really sort of turning up in this second round, and I think if they start playing around a little bit more, they can just get this done. Honjo with that Wrangler takes down Nicros. He's trying to capture the point. They're catching up with the time here. Big bomb from Madman though, and he gets the drop.
Yeah, he goes over the big bomb, and like, you know, that trade earlier with Swanee and Coco, like, that actually favoured Swanee even more than I thought it did, because they're on crits, and, you know, no demo for crits is always going to kind of suck since there's not really much easy damage, and Poi was looking for it, but I mean, there's some flank pills actually coming in favour of Gaeta here on this balcony area, and Killcon going in the back lines, doing a lot of damage, but distraction of the point for them, and they've actually managed to even up the point times, interestingly enough.
Yeah, actually, I think it's Honjo doing so much work with that Wrangled Mini. Despite having an Uber, they dropped a bunch of players. Everyone just sort of committing for their opponents, despite their med dropping. The Uber was used onto a heavy, and it just really didn't get much done. But everyone who was trying to cap afterwards was just getting wrangled on by that Mini. And yeah, they're actually in the lead now, Buck.
Yeah, looking reasonably comfortable about to say that. Solo going down to Karpi, so Karpi could have free reign of the sightline here onto this sort of ramp side. They don't have Uber just yet as well, so Swanee looking to try and go in here. Fizzy gets a frag onto Honjo as well, so give me no wrangle coming out, and Swanee just walking forward doing so much damage to Gaeta as trying desperately defend this. Coca trying to throw out some pipes as much as you can, but the collapse comes in from Refugee Destroyers, but MadJ somehow manages to live through all of that. Swanee though peeking in, oh, he doesn't find it.
It's going to be close. They're back on normal now, and they do have a charge, so we're gonna see like an Uber exchange.
Most likely.
And Fizzy Pug going for the, I don't know, an Assassin's Creed stab there, doesn't quite get it, and there's actually a lot of cap time for Gaeta eSports on this point. They may actually get it here. They're Uber, and just look at that, Gorson pushing off the point. Big jump from Madman! But no, not enough.
But people going down though, I mean, the spawns do favour the attacking side. It doesn't have the point here, but it's 10 seconds, 9 seconds right now. Going to be trying to walk forward onto this point, but it's Solo trying to get off as many headshots as he can. The Killcon going in with the big bombs, doing so much damage onto the point. Massive distractions coming in from the flank right now of Gaeta as Nicros were trying to air blast them off the point. It's a massive scramble for the point. It's 20 seconds, 25 seconds still needed, but never mind, because Gaeta actually taking that one, making it a 1-1.
Definitely Definitely better. I mean, obviously losing a round, anything other than losing is going to be better, but they looked a lot more strong in holding the point, and their exchanges were so much better as well. I think, I don't know, I mean, the crits I don't think was the reason that they won that round, but definitely the sniper, playing around the sniper, and they're going for this sort of underpush again.
Yeah, but they're expecting it. They're just going to stay on the high ground in the combo, and Madman's going to be trying to take the space that they're not denying in the flank right now as well. There's 3 down, sorry, already for Gaeta. It's just going to be walking up to the point, you know, being confident with these heals on him as well, and the minigun down as well. So this is going to give that up really quickly. So, but they're still under actually. I haven't just noticed.
How do you feel about the underpush?
Well, they're a bit trapped right now. I mean, no one's really blocking the other exit for some reason, if they were kind of more aggro. But Foot's going to 1v1, almost 1v1 Coca there, but the Uber does come out to save the demo, but doesn't kind of really... I'm confused, CeeJaey.
It is a bit confusing, but they've popped up now. But the most important thing right now is that his crits on Dave. He's going to pop it off. But Swanee goes down, he gets headshot. And there we go, Solo, Mr. Improbable getting some stuff, but no, here comes the laser beams. That's going to take down the sniper, and it looks like Refugee Destroyers, who are in control of that cap, they did win that mid-fight. It means that they're just going to add some more time to that little bank there they've got already. And running the crits, that at least they know now that they're running the crits. You know, it's something for Gaeta eSports to think, okay, if we get an Uber, then there's not much they can do against it. But it's all about getting close enough before you die to those triple damage projectiles.
This is actually the first time they've used, like, Gaeta's used Uber against the crits coming out of Refugee Destroyers. I'm interested to see how this goes. They're probably going for the stab, so only managing to back off just in time. So I won't get caught out by that. Big jump in from the soldier, manages to drop Dave. So Dave going down there from a nice one from Killcon. There's 3 down right now. Uber coming out to try and take this point, but you know, Mini still trying to spam them out as much as possible. But that should be a pretty comfortable cap there after that nice play from the soldier.
Sort of, oh wow, Carpy there takes down Solo. Almost a repetition of the first round, really, looking at the times. I mean, I think it was 134 that Refugee Destroyers got it down to before Gaeta eSports were even able to cap. Does it count as a drop, though, Buck, if it's crits? I mean, it does on the logs, but morally, do you think it counts? Morally,
I mean... the moral high ground,
yeah. I mean, if it's Vaccinator and you drop, does it really count as 4 drop? I mean, I think we give him a pass on that. As a medic main, I'm just going to say, you know what? It doesn't count.
You get out of jail free card.
Get out of jail free card. But yeah, look at this aggression coming in from Gaeta eSports. They're doing the forward hold, but no! Madman with the rockets. He takes down 2, and one of those is CeeJaey. Meaning Dave, who is, he's back on the minigun now, is going to have a big advantage. And yeah, there you go. Refugee Destroyers just sort of drive pushing that to success.
Yeah, the one thing they didn't really count for there was Carpy. Like, they had Carpy with the whole rest of the combo there, just sort of shooting from long range, and they were really confused because Madman was like pinching them in with the rockets, and of course couldn't really reflect them that well around the corner. So yeah, that was really well played there actually from Refugee Destroyers to sort of cut them off and come back in this to try and take that cap.
It's going to be a lot of work to dislodge them now. A minute behind, and also an Uber behind essentially, but they have got a few picks. Fizzipug, Madman and Nashdog all dead for the time being, and Poi is just going to try and get forward and just make them look at him.
Oh no! That's the drop from Dave. Was that Uber or crits that time?
That one was Uber. I don't think there's a get out of jail free there, mate. I think that counts as a drop.
So there we go, 3 players up right now. I mean, yeah, I mean, what do you think, like, I mean, Gaeta have, like, changed, actually. I mean, what's the main thing you're noticing?
The main thing I noticed was Poi going in as well. I mean, Coca jumped in. Coca was the one who got the drop, I think. But you saw Kilcom go in for the jump, Coca go in, and also Poi go in and just say, hey, look at me, more people are committing for these pushes. Look how far forward they are. They're in their enemy's sort of lobby. You know, Coca might die for it. He's going to die to Necro. That's a bit of a misplay there. Team getting a bit too aggressive, perhaps, but the aggression is there. They're just saying, hey, we're not scared. Maybe they should be scared of Necro because he's picking up a few players.
Yeah, the one problem they had there was the lack of players. Like, the only people in there really were like their combo, and even then they didn't even have the pyro, and they didn't really have like a scout to chase properly. So they managed to sort of walk away from the demo and heavy that would be an Ubered, and he's going to be on 100% now. So I don't know. I think they really need to rely on Kilcon with these bombs because he's consistently seems to have got them. But I mean, Chippo and Nico are kind of looking at this roof now, expecting him.
Yeah, they're trying to recap this, and this is what I mean. They're getting aggressive. Even though the enemy team has Uber, they're saying, hey, we're going to try and cap this. If you want to do something about it, come at us. and they almost get the cap. They lose a couple of players. Gorsla's gone down, but then they pick up Swanee. The Uber's used, and yeah, they can't chase.
Yeah, like they're dropping players, and there's Mini is like doing a lot of damage to them as well. Boy and Under as well, kind of smartly being there to defend his mid. Before going in though, possibly managed to back out, but I mean the point is still in the favour of Refugee Destroyers. But as I say, that kill from a big bomb doesn't manage to get Dave though. Dave getting sandwiched up at the end of that, but it's going to be 100% almost right now for CeeJaey, so this might mean more time for them on this point.
Yeah, they have the. Oh no. They lose their medic, and that is the worst thing to do. It seems you've captured the point, because he's going to have such a long respawn, and that means Refugee Destroyers are all going to be buffed. They have a charge advantage, and I think they're just going to recapture this now after only about 10-20 seconds, and they have 5 seconds left. Kilton's going to jump in, but Kratos on the point just gets taken down by Swanee. I think it was an air pipe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a great denial on the point right there, and yeah, see, this is always the thing as well, like. Refugee Destroyers know how to sort of walk forwards more over the point, and with Madman just constantly doing damage behind them as well, I think they're kind of getting perplexed as to how to deal with the flank and the combo at the same time. So maybe they just need to focus on one thing at once, and then like kill the people behind them, and then walk forwards. I'm not sure.
I like the aggression. You know, it's a change of pace for Gaeta eSports. They're realizing they really kind of have to enforce the issue, perhaps. And we see a bit of a different push this time. Not going under from Gaeta, and holding a little bit more passive from Refugee Destroyers. It's not working out too well for either side. They're getting some picks, and actually maybe Refugees are doing slightly better. They have got the camp time, and they have got the positioning now. But maybe this is where the nerves come into play. You know, 1 round to go. If Refugee Destroyers win this round, they are Div 2 champions. Gaeta know they have to go all in on this. There is no holding back.
Yeah, I mean, they need to be playing around the sniper more as well. I mean, Madman gets some really nice bombs onto the ramp area, and I feel like they need to kind of play around that. But I mean, 4 people actually going down right there for Refugee Destroyers. They're walking in here. Dave hasn't used yet. Will use out now onto Chip. We're going to be kind of close. Heavy versus heavy Uber. A lot of people getting flashed. But I mean, yeah, Dave being chased here by Boston. Will he get the frag? Yeah, he will. So actually going in favour of Gaeta there, as Fizzy trying to get on the mid, but to no avail.
Most important thing now is that they've captured the point, but they kept CeeJaey alive. Yep. So now they are going to have an advantage. Dave just on the respawn now, and you know, this is where they need to set up. And it looks like they're not holding sort of on the back left position where most teams hold, sort of that meta hold. They're holding close to under. Interesting, and maybe that's just the way that they want to play right now, and they're just adapting to it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they like prefer Coken spamming over the roof, like the close roof rather than the far roof, but and like maybe it's a bit finding it easy to protect people over here, but with people getting onto that other roof, they need to be careful, like above them, like especially the scout, the supposed to jump over, or the soldier, like literally anyone really. But Kilcom go for another bomb. Should go with some nice denial. Dave taking less damage from those rockets because the soldier was further away there. But yeah, we'll live through that. But I mean, you know, Cap is still in the favour of Gaeta, slowly ticking down his time. But the NG does go down, so nice pick from Copy onto the NG. That means they do have mini advantage, I suppose.
I think this is the biggest time advantage we've seen for Gaeta so far. I mean, so. Now if they go, it's a minute. That's a minute advantage.
I mean, trying to make it work. I mean, they have both teams have 100% here, but I'm interested to see if they try to push under. But Carby getting a nice frag onto the sniper there. But Madman going for the jump above. This is what I mean. Like, have the soldier jumping above, and it forces the medic. Dave hasn't even used it. He's going to be using it onto Swanee, trying to defend this. Well, try and cap out this midpoint. 4 going down on the side of Gaeta. Coco with some nice pipes onto the foot as he tries to cross the point. As he chases, but it's going to be as heavy versus heavy with Nico helping out here. But I've got a feeling this is going to slowly come in the favour of Refugee Destroyers.
CeeJaey survives there. He was pretty weak, and he was being chased by Nacho Dog, but manages to get out. So he's going to have what, a 10% Uber. It's essentially equal here. But they got so much time off there. They're under a minute to go, and they're going to be able to have a charge. So they're going to be able to trade off of those kills. Like you said, every person that they kill and trade for, they're going to have a fast respawn, and it looks like Refugee Destroyers aren't too keen on contesting this right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to like bait them onto the point slightly, I think. I mean, Nico's trying to get onto them. Swanee getting chased out by Mr. Improbable, but he just managed to find that frag. As you know, with Swanee and Madman staying alive, those 2 splash blasts are going to do so much damage to them, and they're going to be slowly coming up to 100% Uber as well. So players coming onto the mid, CeeJaey actually in the back lines, but yeah, I think that's going to be question mark pause to the end Oh god.
It looks like a pause,
Suspense, CeeJaey.
It looks like a pause to me, and yeah, I mean, Refugee Destroyer is doing well there to stop the cap from happening, but again, we're seeing Gaeta just saying, hey, look, we need to win this round, and they're just trying to get as much cap time as they can and really forcing the issue, because a lot of teams play in this reactive way where it's like, oh, this team's doing this, so we got to counter it. But you know, sometimes you need to take the bull by the horns, so to speak, and just go forward and just W in and say, hey, we're going to cap. If you want to block this cap, you either have to come and contest us, or you need to kill us from a distance, and that forces people into positions they may not be comfortable with. Gaeta are doing pretty well at the moment. They are in the lead, and the timer is ticking down. That doesn't mean that they're gaining any time. Don't worry. It's just a glitch on the HUD, or of the game, I should say. But I mean, do you think Gaeta have it in them to come back? I mean, they need to win the next 2 rounds. So, is this a comeback?
I mean, they have 1 round already, but I really think they need to switch things up, because their positioning is like they try to make under work, but it just seems to kind of get kited, and they don't really get much out of it. Like, they're not really getting positioning for their flank either to like go through once their combo's made space from under or anything like that. They're kind of just getting spammed repeatedly, and KillCom's doing his best to jump over the roof, but against a pyro, a heavy, a mini, a sniper, air shots from Swanee, it's like it all just adds up really, and it's just slowly becoming even harder and harder for them. So I think what they need to do really is just play around their demo and just walk in, have the heals forwards, and then just chase forwards with the damage, and just focus players like Swanee, who's doing a lot of damage, and then the slower classes as well.
I mean, it always looks like, oh, I've got the time lead, this is a good situation. However, if you fail a push, that's essentially, another 30 seconds or more before you're going to have a charge to be able to make another push. And what is a minute advantage doesn't become all too comfortable if you start to fail those pushes. And yeah, I mean, take a look at the gamers they've got. I mean, they haven't got Fizzipug, they haven't got Madman, but those are players that they're not going to be controlling too much, but everyone else is in position. You've got Carpy watching the sidelines. You've got Chippo and Nicaro looking up to make sure anyone who jumps up is going to do something. You look at Nacho Dog and Asmondius, they're holding the high ground. So if anyone wants to jump over there, look, Mankind is just totally denied in the air. It really does it's going to make you have to do something amazing to get close to Dave here.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they need to do in terms of like when the sacks come in as well, rather than just have KillCom go in by himself, they need to like fully commit. But I mean, it depends on the time really, but they should have been doing this possibly a bit earlier on, where they have like the demo jump in, the soldier jump in, spy on cloak from behind, all these things that add up, and just have like everyone shoot the medic, so either he drops or forces. Because I mean, Dave like has done that before. He's been doing like sometimes pretty well to actually keep the Ubers and like not force, and then those Ubers have been helpful later on. But yeah, they need to just sort of have more focus, I think, on their Uber advantages, and then have their demo take their own Ubers forwards and do a bit more damage, and then block off the chokes, and then not like over-aggress into an aggressive hold either, again, because that doesn't seem to work for them.
Yeah, the aggressive hold was tried once or twice, as we are back live. And Poi is trying to get aggressive on the point, and they use the Uber on the point, but they're trying to get aggressive here.
Yeah, Gorson's trying to like deny some space. I mean, Gorson's kind of forced them to semi-flash here. They managed to keep off the points, and now it's just no Ubers for even team right now, and they need to be helping their demo as he's taking so much damage, and the flank from Refugee Destroyers is just going to be kind of trying to go under or trying to go behind as well, but yeah, they seem to sort of actually defend this successfully.
Yeah, they're getting decent kills and they get the cap, so now they have again over a minute in the lead. Mr. Improbable getting the backstab onto Chippo, so that's just going to slow things down for the repush. And Dave goes down, a headshot from Solo. That man is really turned up here for the next couple of rounds, and it's looking pretty good for them at the moment. They're just no. Nicaro, he's just doing that. Oh, I think he's going to get more kills there. People were still on fire, but he gets Magic, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it's going to be 5 seconds. Could be trying to turn this in point. He's like pretty much full health there. He's really far forward, doing a lot of damage. Nico been trying to fight him, and Boy goes down. Nico's alive on here, but does get focused, so some nice focus fire onto the pyro there. But Madman and Swanee coming in, this might be a bit worse. I mean, nice jump onto the roof there from KillCon. Mini goes down, Carby goes down. It's going to be a 2-up right now for Refugee Destroyers, so this might actually go to a 2-2.
I think Honjo was involved in every single one of those kills there. He was just spamming that wrangled rescue,
all the assists.
Mini Sentry, getting all the assists, and so it was on a 5 kill streak, and that was where the pause happened. So potentially, I don't know, maybe a tactical pause for one of these teams. I mean, Gaeta eSports really in the ascendancy here. Need to win this next round to stay in this final. If Refugee Destroyers win it, they will take it 2-0 and be crowned your Division 2 champions. And again, a very passive mid from the Refugee Destroyers, but Madman's going to go in for the bomb, gets a lot of damage down, takes down Solo, CeeJaey goes down, the follow-up from Swanee, and maybe if that was a tactical pause, Bucky did work.
Yeah, what Refugee Destroyers did really well is they just play off Madman, and like they kind of all push at the same time. Like Swanee walks in, he has the heals, Madman jumps in. It's like Gaeta's having to look in like a billion different places at once, and they managed to secure these mid fights pretty consistently. But yeah, it's gonna be 2-2. So I was right in saying it's gonna be a close one, CeeJaey, but I'm still not sure as to who's gonna win this one.
I mean, it's gonna either way. Whoever wins this is gonna be another golden cap, basically. Winning it 3-2. Either way, and Gorsta goes down there, not going to be able to get much pressure on the point. Kilp goes in for a bomb, but can't get close to Dave. And again, CeeJaey only at 60%, so they really do need to get a force or something onto Dave, who is just comfortable next to that dispenser, surrounded by his team. They're getting aggressive here, Refugee Destroyers, but Poi is all too aware. He's going to take down Madman, but Coca goes down. He's down for 10 seconds now. That's just going to slow their push.
Yeah, I mean, Refugee Destroyers have 100% now. It's going to be CeeJaey not actually building for quite a significant amount of time there, but the mini from Honjo is still trying to spam them out. I think what they need to do as well is possibly peek through shutter. They don't really want to go for shutter. They're always on this one side, and it's always kind of weird to see. But I mean, Coca's trying to get some point time right now. Uber just come out. They've still got people on the roof. Dave hasn't even used it. They're going to be comfortably kind of just using it to Nico to try to deny this point. Mini from Honjo still going, and the rest of the team at long range are going to take so much damage. But yeah, Coca going down is not going to be very good for them.
That was a bit of a panic push there. I mean, they got the Uber, and it was just kind of like, right, let's go into them. Maybe should have just waited and taken some ground and waited for the enemy team, because if you use that early, the enemy team is just going to have such a much better Uber. They're just bleeding players as Mindias, I don't know where he was, but manages to take down the medic somehow, just getting so aggressive on the spawn there, Buck. And Dave is going to have a huge advantage again. Gaeta eSports haven't capped the point in this final round.
Yeah, although with Swanee going down, this might actually be their time. I mean, no splash damage, so there's no sort of no demo. Nico going to be trying to defend this, but Chipper going to be trying to take these heals. Can he kill Poi? No, he can't. Poi actually got very low health, so we'll actually trade that out. But yeah, Carpy going to try to see what he can get. And Fizzy in the back line is actually getting the med there. But yeah, actually, well, taking down the crits from Aaron. But yeah, so many people going down right now for Gaeta, and it's going to be an easy cap, I think, for Refugees.
Yeah, well, 21 seconds off the points. And there you go, that's a wipe. An actual wipe from Gaeta eSports. They now have to capture the point and hold it for over 2.5 minutes, and they've only got 40 seconds left to do it. They've also got a little player called Dave with 100% in the bank already, and their medical man has only got 30%. Oh, no. This is all stacked against him right now. They're bleeding players here, but what is going on?
It's massive kind of just coming out onto this balcony here, although they're kind of into Bal, but even still, like, so many people taking damage. I mean, Nico's going to be going on to Poi right now. Chippo doing a Chippo doing 360. Oh, what happens?
They just get so aggressive there, and like I think they just all die in the end. They get backstabbed. So, I mean, you can do that, and it's probably going to be close enough to overtime that it's going to be a case of Refugee Destroyers just need to capture the point. But you know what? I would have just played it a little bit more safe.
A little bit safer, yeah. If they end up throwing this now and not capping for, like after this 2-minute 30, I'm going to be laughing because, yeah, that was just kind of a bit of a yikes for me.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit overconfidence. We'll see if it pays off them. They've got 2 seconds left on the clock, and I mean, it is essentially equal Ubers here. We'll see what can happen. Decent damage going down. And Nico Magic goes down to Madman. He goes in and gets the rockets onto him. He actually came in from underneath. Sneaky little underplay.
Ooh, probable.
But Dave goes down.
Yeah, Spike coming in from behind, so the one time they actually turn around, so manages to get Dave. So that might actually be a redeeming frag, and Probable might have actually saving quite a bit of time on this point here. But I mean, you know, Nico going in, facing Poi going down to Chippo, and with Foot coming over the top as well. We're chasing down these frags, and there's so many people going down right now, and this is going to be a quick cap. 2 up, there we go, for Gaeta, and there's only 1 second left, so there we go. It's going to be Refugee Destroyers, winners of the Div 2 Grand Final, CeeJaey.
Yeah, I mean, first map, Golden Cap, second map, Golden Cap, couldn't have been closer. And yeah, a little bit of a misplay maybe at the end there, just getting a little bit overconfident, cocky, and going forward. But, you know, able to just walk forward and retake the point. 2 seconds left on the clock. And Refugee Destroyers coming in from the second seeds are able to take the title. I mean, this is the underdog story, right? For this division, they weren't the top seeds, and Gaeta eSports must have come in as the favorite, right?
I mean, possibly, but like they've kind of proven that their teamwork has paid off. I mean, they play around their flank really well. They play they play on copy really well. The people who need to get the frags do get the frags. Swanee does loads of damage, and you know, it just culminates into this mess of damage and frags across the points, just on these cough maps, and even on Gully as well. Like their defenses were like reasonably solid most of the time, and yeah, managed to pay off. So pretty well played to them.
Yeah, I'm looking at the logs now, and if I had to ask you, who do you think is going to top frag? Who would you guess?
You know, I might say Foot, but I'm not sure.
It's actually Carpy. Carpy with the 36 kills. One behind was Madman with 35, and one behind that was Solo and Chippo on 34. So both snipers going pretty well. I mean, 34 and 36 kills respectively in 26 minutes, and that's including pauses. That's a pretty high kills per minute. But hey, it is King of the Hill. What do you expect? But 44 headshots from Solo really did keep his team in the game there. I think really a lot of credit goes to them for the second and third rounds in particular. Decent damage coming in from the demos, both hitting over 400 DPM. Coco just above there with 470. And actually Madman had the second highest at 428. So those bombs being really effective. I mean, was that we were talking about the snipers, about how they had to be focused, right, on King of the Hill. But I felt the soldier bombs and the demo bombs as well, going for the medics, that was more effective, perhaps. Yeah, impactful. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Who'd you like? If you had to highlight an individual on that map alone for the victory, I mean, who would it be?
Honestly, all the way, it's always Madman. Like, Madman does so much work for them. Like, whether it be bombing in or whether it's just spamming across the point, like, his damage most of the time is just always, like, significant. And I think he was a massive problem for Gaeta, and they just couldn't really respond to him that well. Like, especially when he was just rotating around the map really quickly, like, around the back lines, grabbing those health, going for those mid picks, spamming out the sentry, that sort of thing. So, I think for me, he kind of stood out. But also Carpy as well, you know, going 36 to 16. But both snipers doing pretty well. I mean, to be fair, shout out to, like, Solo, Poi, and Mankind, because they had pretty decent games there considering, and Coco also doing like a considerable amount of damage, and I think the damage difference like wasn't substantial, so it's really just the ability to frag, which Refugee Destroyers just came in with really, which Gaeta just needed a bit more of, I think.
Absolutely. Sometimes it is just sort of those tactics, those strategies that highlight the difference, because, you know, I agree with you. I think when you look at when you rank by kills, you know, the heavies are next to each other, the scouts are next to each other, the spies are next to each other, the demos are next to each other. I mean, it was pretty equal across the board. It was just those individual plays, you know, going maybe for the med picks, getting those drops, or just, you know, getting the cap time where they could. We are going to be joined by some interviews. Wiethoofd is in the process of getting some of the gamers we've just witnessed into the mumble. I do think we have got from Refugee Destroyers Chippo, and we have got from Gaeta eSports Matt J and Honjo. So welcome, guys. I'm going to start off with the winners. Chippo, congratulations, Div 2 champion. You guys came in as the second seeds, so you could argue that you guys were the underdogs here today. Did you feel that did you feel as the underdogs, you know, when you came into the game? Did you think it was going to be this close?
Well, yeah, I thought we were going to lose, honestly.
Shaking my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
Confidence.
I don't know. We hadn't scrimmed during the main season, like, at all. We played, like, a scrim before, like, each playoffs game against, like, mid-teams. And then after the Canker game, and everyone's saying Gaeta was going to win, I just figured Gaeta would win. I didn't really think about it.
I mean, on sort of looking at the maps, obviously you only had the one map pick, but you managed to take Gully Wash. You had a really like a lightning round right at the start there, and then Gaeta started to push you back, take the lead, and you did equalize it, but won the golden cap. Once you'd won the golden cap on Gully, and then you were going to your map choice, did you think then did your mind change then, Chippo? Did you think, hang on a minute, we might actually win this?
I don't know. I didn't think too much about it on Gully because I thought we kind of just got lucky with the Gully Wash. But like once we won the first round on our map, I thought that was it. I thought we'd have it in the bag after that.
Okay, we're also joined by Dave, your medicine man for the game.
Yes.
Dave, how much of a headache were the bombs from the soldier and the demo on Coal Plant? Because me and Buck just watching that game, it just seemed that the projectile classes were just on top of the medics for 90% of the game.
To be honest, we were pretty prepared for the bombs. Like we talked about the map before. We kind of knew always when they were going to bomb. And the first round, we won it just purely because they had 3 failed bombs. And they didn't force me or kill me any of those 3 times. What happened was as the game went on, they got better at dry pushing the point, pressuring us on the point. So it wasn't really the bombs that were the threat. It was they were getting a lot of cap time and we weren't denying it. So we just took a quick tack pause before the final round, and we just sorted it.
I did, yeah. I mean, me and Buck were discussing that. Was it a tactical pause? Because you guys seem to be pretty strong on the map. I mean, 2 of the rounds, you got the mid fight, and you clocked it down to about 1 minute 30. half the time off of the mid fight alone. What did you sort of change up in that pause? What did you feel was the catalyst for your victory in that final round?
I mean, it didn't really come into play because the final round we just kind of out-DM'd them. But what we were talking about was just how to deny them on the point, because the second round they won, by all counts, we really should have won it, but we just gave up the point for free twice. They were just able to walk in dry or walk in even Ubers and win fights. And we just played wanted to deny the point more, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think you did a decent job of that in the end, and I think that tactical pause kind of paid off. And but moving on to the opposite side, I mean, commiserations to Gaeta. So Matt J. I mean, going into this, what were your kind of initial thoughts on how they were playing? Were you worried after they got that initial round on Gully Wash? And what do you think kind of you didn't really capitalize off that well?
No, 1 round doesn't mean much. When we lost this first round, really what I wanted was I wanted my gamers to focus again, because 1 mid, can happen, you get bombed, and we lost it. That's okay. Just go back into the game in the next round. Mostly, I'd say what lost us the game on Gully Wash was the fact that I got rushed on 97%. The team decided, I said go back, stay passive, wait for Uber on last, and they were no, they're down, just go and shit. And oh yeah, I'm not supposed to swear. Sorry about that. But yeah, they were let's go, let's aggress into them. And I said, no, wait for Uber instead, and then we can repush into them. And what happened is that the Pyro went for lower lobby, and I saw him, I called him, but my demo could not kill him in time, so I died on 97. And then we lost it. But Gully Wash, mostly, I guess the problem was that the team was not able to... sometimes I just called for less aggression and more holds, and sometimes they fed a bit. The bombs were being denied, all our pick classes and our bombs were just being denied very well by them. And so they were able to play off the Uber a lot, and that was a big problem. Because a lot of the times, at some point, we were on crits, and it was supposed to be a very good play. Our demo stayed alive, like I said, when they push, just go back, and we can go into them again. And then what happened is that our heavy was standing in big door, and they were all on point, and our demo called, let's go choke. And initially, I wanted to repush through big door and just use the crits through big door because they had no Uber. But our heavy was let's go use onto me. And at the same time, my demo told me, let's go and choke. And I was okay, what the hell is going on? So he went into big door eventually. I used on Poi, and then demo came in, and we just ended up getting wiped, and we lost the round because of it. It was a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of always unfortunate, if you have kind of missed calls, communication, sometimes going wrong, and falling apart. And in the sense of in the heat of the moment, stuff like that will happen. But I think you still had some decent plays. It was good to see. It was still a fun match to watch because it was so close. You guys gave them a good fight. And that Gully did go to a golden cap after all, even through all that. So that was always still good to see.
Yeah, both rounds were super close.
Yeah.
And I really, I gotta give it to them. Like, they played very well. Maybe, people don't understand that, but like, the game was extremely close. I'm not mad at my gamers. I'm not mad at anyone. I do want to say that, like, I think their soldier and their sniper was the MVP, but all of them played well. Shout out to them. But yeah, like, their soldier was just a pain in the butt. Like, he was always all over me. Yeah, censoring myself. And it was very hard to play around him. Gorston is a very aggressive pyro, which means that we had less denial. He did do a lot of work, especially on Goody at some point he got like a 4K or something. But yeah, like, their soldier was, wow. Very impressive from him.
Honjo, I have a big question for you. I mean, engineers don't get the spotlight very often. But how much did you practice your wrangling for Coal Plant tonight? Because I mean, the wrangling battles across the map is something I've casted over the past couple of weeks. It seems to just all the engineers do. I mean, I think at one point, I think it was the fourth round, which you guys won. I think you pretty much must have hit every single player on the point with your wrangler. Yeah, I mean, do you find that fun? Is that what you look forward to?
Yeah, I like that. Practice for a good 30 minutes.
You have no idea how much Foot is crying and mumble when you're alive in the shutter with the Wrangler. It's unbelievable. No, but it was really, really annoying playing against the Wrangler. Like, Bonobo is a really good NG, but I think overall, like, Honjo was more effective with the Wrangler and shutter. For whatever reason, we weren't able to do it as effectively.
I think Bonobo was using the level 2s. Wasn't he? He was using like full-on wrench, whereas Honjo was just whacking up the minis.
I think that was
just
He was on minis for a good while too.
Okay. I mean, if anyone
Also,
wants
that
to...
space wrench. Was it on?
Oh, yeah.
You're on fire and then you go back to spawn and live.
We need to plan the space wrench for next season.
Eureka
It's
effect's
too
too
good.
strong.
I'm going to call it there before we start, otherwise we might summon Hammock and he starts telling us that,
Hey.
all of the engineer details. But thanks for an amazing game, guys. That was brilliant. I mean, 2 golden caps. And, the only downside was I didn't go to a third map and have I'm sure that the third map would have been just as close. We're going to have some shout outs though. Before we move on, we'll start off with Chippo. Any shout outs?
Yeah, shoutouts to the best European sniper, Mr. Aubergine, Buck824, Extra Solar, Jim Vickers, Scottish national team, Austin, and Clark.
He's prepped.
Dave, any shout outs?
Shout out to Bonobo for main class in the whole season, even though we said we'd go in mid. Shout out to Firefly. Shout out to Kazuki for leaving the team.
Honjo, any shout outs?
Shout out to the entire Gaeta squad. Kevin or Coca. Of course to Gaywood, Tryhard7.
Yeah. My boy Redwood.
Is it pronounced Gaeta? Because I've been saying Gaeta all evening, so that's my bad. Matt J, any shout outs from Team Gaeta?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to everyone in the Gaeta Discord. Shout out to everyone who supported us. Shout out to Dave and his team for this amazing game. Shout out to KritzKast for agreeing to cast us. Shout out to Broken, who played a lot of scrims, but unfortunately couldn't play in the main season. He was a big, asset for the team. And a huge special shout out to my brothers who are watching, and also to Ada, who was our medic for the previous season, but she allowed us to save the team for this season, which is amazing. Girl, you're the best. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome, and thank you to Buck and Wiethoofd for chipping in. I was going to say Chip, and then just Chippo. No, for coming together for this Div 2 cast. Wiethoofd doing the production amazingly as always, and Buck, it's always a pleasure casting with you. As you can see on screen right now, you can follow us on Twitter. Give us some money on Patreon, go in the Discord for some more information, or check out some of the KritzKast merch. Of course, this is the actual last game of the season. I do believe we're not going to be covering any more finals because they're all done. But we will have some more stuff in the future. We do have an award show for the Premiership gamers to decide who is going to win the awards as the best on each class. and obviously the best overall players. And we will have some other games in the future. Let's not forget about Copenhagen Games in April. Towards the end of April, we will have a LAN that's not going to just have sixes, but also Highlander. It was in 2018 as well, and it's back for 2019 for some more offline 9v9 action. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great night.
Wait, one sec. I just had one more shout out to give. It was actually to my boy Canlock. So you get a shout out. Sorry to interrupt. Bye, and have a good night, everyone.
There you go, Canlock. You get your own special shout out. Good night,
Thanks for watching, everyone. Good night.
Hi, old beaver! Away!